This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Excellent. We All Be is honored to have on the one and only Queen of the International Blues, Sister Queen Toni Green, to tell her side of the story. How are you doing today?
I am so wonderfully blessed, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you. And we have so much to talk about. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you on being the 2018 Jimmy Lunsford Jamboree Festival Homecoming Queen, an honor well deserved because you have put in the work and you have the legend to prove it with the receipts. So I just want to give you your thanks for that. And I was
thank you.
All right, excellent. And I just want to talk to you, man. Like, what do you want to talk about? I know you have so much to say. You sing a lot as well. You got a lot on your mind that you want to talk about as well. What are some of the things you want to talk about today?
Well, there are so many wonderful things. First of all, I'm so honored that I'm still here on this planet to be able to express what God has blessed me with for these years that I've been here in Memphis, Tennessee, and I've been able to travel around the world. But music is my forte. You know, music has been in my DNA from very early on, you know, with being surrounded with some of the greatest talents in the world. Mm-hmm. And this honor has such a big made such a big and implanted part of what I didn't know was happening. And to just be there the other night to see, wow, Jimmy Lunsford and what he had established had it just touched me. It awakened the dead sleep or the dead cells in my body that I thought I had awakened on you know, by doing the things I had done. But to see what this man had done really just lifted me up even more so to make me want to just say, hey, I want to do better with Memphis and by Memphis. First of all, I want to talk about Beale Street. Beale Street for me has really made an impact to my life as well because I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with what they're doing down there as far as musically taking care of our brothers and our sisters who are musicians, entertainers, and trying to make a living. And I think it's just an atrocity. I think it's really bad that they have decided to place us on a plantation.
So, I mean, can you give in more detail, like what are the working conditions for the musicians down on Beale Street?
The working conditions are unbelievable, just like being on a slave on a plantation, you know, working for nothing. And most of the musicians down there working for pennies or no pennies at all. They're working for the door, or they're working for the bar, and you know, or the tips, so to speak. They're getting paid for tips. And you would be surprised. There are only a few down there who pay by salary. And the salary is so hard and so, oh my God, it's just like you're working for a bale of cotton, you know, back in the day when you had to have, you know, so many pounds of cotton before you could get paid $3 or $4. And we actually have just regress instead of progress. And, you know, I go all over the world, and for people to talk about Memphis music, to be able to go down there and visit that place and really be on the inside of what's going on and find out that your musicians are getting paid on the door or whoever's coming in or the bar or the tips, and then they still have to pay for parking. It just touched my heart. I went down there and visited with my daughter one night, and she had to take me off of Beale because I broke down. I was so hurt and in tears, and she saw me, weeping up. And she said, "Mom, come on, let's go." And it was just hurtful. It was hurtful. And they're singing, the sets are so long, and you're still not getting paid if nobody comes in that door through the tips. And that's not talking about, there's only 3 salaried places down there that I do know, that I'm aware of. And they only are salaried. One is only salaried on a Sunday, and the others are salaried, during the weekend and the weekend. But when you get through with it, the overran visitors that come in daily and people who are venturing to your place and paying you should be able to pay your musicians and your help better than you do. They're getting rich, and we're surely getting poorer and older, and nobody's even lifting any of these entertainers or these musicians up when, they can't hardly bury them. We'll talk about that too. I want to talk about all of this because I have friends of mine who have passed, they didn't even have a headstone. They're saying take up money for this person and take up money for that. But what about these musicians that put all of their life and their energies into your club, into Beale Street, and then we got to take up money for them? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people on the outside looking in because Memphis is renowned, number one, for its musical heritage. It's rich. It has very unique, distinctive musical heritage. And they have the practitioners basically begging for tips on Beale Street and not making enough living to cover themselves as well as their families. It's very disturbing to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, it should be. And it should be something done because as I go all over the world, everybody's talking about Memphis. Oh, I must come to Memphis, Toni. I love Memphis. I want to be a musician on Beale Street. I want to play. But most of these are Anglo-Saxons who can come and get a little more work than we as blacks who live right here or who have sank all of our hard-earned talents into this place only to not get anything out of it. It's hurtful. That's painful. So there's so many things to talk about. I don't know which one to approach because I'm messed up about all of them. I'm messed up about everything. And don't get me wrong. I love everybody. I am not prejudiced. I love my white brothers like I love my black sisters and brothers. I love everybody. But I believe that it should be a fair connotation down there that sets it apart for us as musicians and singers and entertainers or whatever you want to call us and pay us correctly, no matter what dress you're wearing.
But another thing I was thinking about, I know people like, what about musician unions? Where's the representation for the musician in the city of Memphis?
We don't have that. We did back in the 60s and 70s and early 80s. Yeah, that was something that represented to say that we're protecting you. When the movies come here, we don't even get any of that. Only certain musicians get that. The consortiums and things like that they're building, the commissions or whatever you want to call it, the music commissions and all of that. The representation is just so simplified until most of the black musicians or the older musicians or even the ones that are new don't know what to do or how to go to approach to getting the thing that will back them up and cover them. But answer your question, there is not a representation of unionship here, that will guard us or protect us to be able to pay us as it should. There are organizations like you can join the Talent Corps. The different talent groups that will book you, but booking me is not protecting me. Okay? So we need to find a way to at least unionize ourselves. If at all possible. Because, see, we might want to unionize you and me, but the other musicians and singers have gotten so comfortable with making no dollars or 15 cents or $20 to split among 7 people, till they might not want to hear what we're talking about, growing something so that you can get better to be able to take care of your family and yourself and look forward to a future. They might not want to do that.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know Tennessee is known as the volunteer state, but to keep on giving of yourself, especially your God-given talent, without any compensation is ridiculous. You should get compensated for your talents.
Well, how can we go about getting them to understand that, to respect yourself? You know, I mean, the Staple singer said it exactly right. Mm-hmm. Respect yourself, and then others can respect you. If you have no respect for yourself, you can't expect for nobody else to respect. If you keep running down to something that keeps pulling you down and burying you, you know, like I said, my musician friends that I know have found out later on have died and couldn't even pay for the funeral, less known a headstone. Then they come back in retrospect, and the family members want us to save these people, you know, the dignity that they should have been given before they died. You know, take, for instance, Ruby Wilson. When Ruby passed, the funeral was so long, but all the people that were on the podium to speak on her behalf had things to say that didn't even make any sense. For instance, one said that she was homeless, but the person didn't say what she did for her, what she did when Ruby told her she was homeless. And then the other person said Ruby kept their doors open. Well, that person, he gave a little bit or she gave a little bit to help a little bit, but things go on, you know. Mm-hmm. Is there a memorial set up for her? Since she kept your doors open, you know, you should have named part of your bar, the Ruby Wilson Bar. You should have named part of the street, Ruby Wilson Street, since she was the queen of Beale Street. There's nothing at the airport that even talks about her. I'm just saying there's nothing set in place. There's a note on Beale Street probably, but the fact is, even with the notes, you got to, like, I'm just a wealth of information about, just like I was listening to you the other night, Brother Hurd. You just gave everything about Jimmy Lunsford that just shocked me because I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Well, to let everybody know, to be able to get a note on Beale Street, they're giving notes to people who don't even have the representation of the represented, the ones who represented. They're just giving people notes. But why not give the people of Essence something to hold, you know, for their legacy, for their history?
I definitely agree on that. It's very fascinating, man, like the stuff you're saying. And people would think that Ruby Wilson was well off because she is, you know, was renowned as the queen of Beale Street. She did movies and whatnot, even did local commercials, and she had a following. So you telling me that Ruby Wilson died destitute? Absolutely. Wow. And also I'm thinking about what's going on with Herman Green, the legendary Herman Green, who, you know, he played on Beale Street a lot, and he's well known. He has a rich musical heritage. But now, my understanding, they're raising money for him to support his fees at the nursing home.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Each one, when Rudy Williams passed, right, everybody wants to gather up at the funerals when you pass. But as I said, you know, in the program the other night, I don't know if you heard me, but I will repeat myself. Give flowers while people can smell them. When people are gone, they can't smell anything. I don't want you to give me no flowers when I'm gone. I can't see not one of them. Not one flower, nor smell it. So Rudy, Herman Green, who is still here, God bless his soul, Ruby's gone. There was another young lady who sung jazz. They were taking up money for her headstone. Another young man fell dead playing the drums on Beale Street. Oh, they had the commission to let him ride the carriage down the street of Beale Street, but hell, he didn't know. Excuse me, he didn't know he was in the carriage. Right. Okay. Right. Another man was playing bass and he died. Vic. And they let the carriage go down Beale Street. He don't know. Vic was a good friend of mine, and so was the other young man. All of these are, I'm saying these things because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Wow.
And I don't want them to segregate it or separate it. I want them to treat the black musicians and the black singers down there like they do the white singers and musicians. I think we're all in this fight together. I think that we need to band together to pull something off and let the club owners know we can't keep giving you our souls. We can't keep doing that, and you all keep getting, wealthy and wealthy and wealthier, and we have nothing to look forward to our children, our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. We have no legacies, nobody to fight for us, and we need to find a way to fight to get this thing so that we won't have to look, as to me, as the indigent city of music, because outside of here, everybody thinks we're the greatest, and we're not.
I mean, speaking of tale of two cities, I'm thinking in my mind comparing and contrasting Memphis with the state capital, Nashville, which also is renowned as a music city. What is the difference between the two? I mean, why is it Nashville seems like it's thriving, where Memphis ain't thriving? They're lacking.
Well, one thing about it, in Nashville, country music has been the precedence for them. But, country music is nothing but the blues,
right?
Honestly. So country music, because of who you are in the still America of if you're white, you're right. And if you're black, get back. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what country music did do, and I'm happy about, they have let a lot of black musicians and singers come in and do studio work, television work, because they realize that they need us. They might have their prejudices, but they do recognize what music does do, and that pulls us all in together. And as you can well see, if you look out in the audiences of some of the country music awards, the CMAs, you're going to see a lot of black participants, in the audience and on the stage now. And that they're we've got Steve Potts, who's played for all of the great singers in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
For one, he's been, every time, if anything is ever done, he is called to play those drums. So there's a lot of participation there, to whereas Memphis has not had that forum. They've had the forum, but the money has been so tight to whereas the overseers, have not allowed us to breathe, because they like the overseership. They like being the one in control and taking all and getting all the money. And until they start to let the musicians and the entertainers breathe here, we're going to have to keep going out to Nashville. We're going to have to keep going out to Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and even overseas to get any kind of recognition where we appreciate it, because it's not going to happen with and even some of our black brothers and sisters here who are in overseer positions will not allow, because they're too busy being greedy, getting the money instead of taking it and doing like they're supposed to do, help building the city. They're building their pockets, and that's the difference. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Wow,
I hope I made myself clear on it, because I mean everything I'm saying,
Well, it's fascinating because I don't think people really even understand or understand the situation that we're in Memphis in terms of, like, you got this predominantly black city, but it's not controlled with black people interests at heart. It's not, doing the majority of constituents any good, And I also want to ask too, because you look at Nashville, they got a very strong recording industry as well. A lot of
course.
Session work as well. Could that be happening in Memphis? What's going on? Why we can't have that happen in Memphis?
We could have, should have, but remember the union halls are gone. There's one I'm not really sure, but I know it hasn't done a whole lot for us, and nobody knows about what to do. But you know what? I really believe that until, like I said, we unionize or we get ourselves together and we care enough. The lackadaisical attitude of I'm just gonna get in and I'm gonna make a little money. It's even with the political perspective here. Mm-hmm. We seem to not give a doggone because we keep hiring and we keep electing people from a predominantly black area in the world, in the United States. We keep hiring people that are not of our equal, like my grandmother would say. We keep hiring other folks to be overseers. See, we still looking for a boss. We want somebody to dap and paddle our butts and stuff. We got to get out here and work and dig in like we used to back in the days when Martin Luther King was here, and all of those things were prevalent. Mm-hmm. You know, we won't even go to the Me Too marches. We won't even go to the other organizations that they have. We rarely do anything, and we've got to find a way to come on back and have strength again amongst us instead of submitting and succumbing to this stuff. You know, we're succumbing to stuff that makes no sense for our children. You know, I ain't going to vote for him, but I'm going to vote for him because I don't want him to come back and win no more. All of this kind of crazy stuff that they come up with is really ridiculous, and that's the problem, the lackadaisical shuffle on the Buffalo Negroes. As somebody I know, we call them handkerchief head Negroes.
Yeah. Right. And that's interesting, but what is, because like what's going on to me reminds me of what happened in the 60s with the I Am a Man movement for the sanitation workers, the sanitation workers strike. It's like the Memphis musicians, in a lot of ways, find themselves in the same predicament where they're not willing to, a lot of them not willing to stand up for themselves and to assert their rights to make a living as musicians. So I don't know what it's going to take.
Well, what it is, number one, to give you a scenario of something that happened, and I don't want to call them their names, but I will tell you, they were making money, then they were fired from this position. They didn't like the little money and the prestige that they were getting, so they begged to come back in, okay, and take lower money to come back in because they didn't want the other brother or the other sister to get the position. But what they could have done before all of this happened was to already have a foundation laid out for themselves in order so if the next person would come in to do whatever they had to do, whether you there or not there, that it wouldn't hurt you, you know. But they didn't allow it. They were so greedy, so selfish, and so crazy with making this little bit of money, which it didn't even hurt the club. You know, them giving you $200 or $300 a night doesn't hurt them. Their bars turn over thousands and thousands of dollars per day, okay? They have insurance if the place burn up or tear down. Do you have insurance? No. As a musician, no. But they got insurance on you. I can guarantee you they got insurance on you if you've been there past 5 years. Trust me. But we don't see it like that. We have seen, go get this little money. This little money is exciting. Oh, I'm on Beale Street. Really? But who owns Beale Street? Oh, I've been here for 25 years. But, baby, do you have stock in the place? No, I don't have no stock. Well, you should be trying to look into it. Because you should have something. You should have some stock. What I'm trying to say is, Brother Hurd, we don't get it. Our value. We don't even think about our value, our worth. Who are you? What do you want to do? But they run and they won't let go of this little bit of getting tips. I'm on Beale Street. I'm getting tips. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's when I'm playing. Oh, I'm looking for the IBCQ, whatever's coming up, and they might let me win. But if you win, baby, what's going to happen when you win? Well, they might give us they're going to give us a couple of days on Beale Street. Okay, what kind of monetary things are they going to? Oh, well, I just want to win. Really? So what we have to do, we have to reset the mindset. We have to reset it. and let them know of their worth. And I think the union will kind of put some things in front of them to say that they got some help. A lot of people feel like, well, if I let go, where am I going to get my other help? I need this little $10 because you know they got to pay for parking too. Ain't no free parking down there.
Wow.
Okay. So that means if the band is doing tips at the door, they're doing tips at the from you and getting a little bit of the bar. If they have nothing there, no money's there to split, or let's say they have $35 to split among 7 people. What about the parking? So if there's 7 people coming in different cars, they got to still pay the $10 before they can get back in their cars. Hello.
So average, how much would they make a night then? They pay $10 for parking. How much would they make on average then for the night?
On the average, let's say $30. They get $30 a piece. Even on some of the salaries that I've found, I've investigated to find $30 a piece. So they get with that particular salary, and they actually say it's a salary. So they get $300, so to speak, to split among 5 people, or whatever. You know, so that means that after you do that, you got to pray for tips. You got to solicit your CDs. You got to beg and go up and down all through there to say, please buy my CDs, please buy my CDs. And if they happen to get no CD sales and get tips, and they might make $100 a piece that night, maybe. Or maybe still they don't get no more than $40 or $30 for that night. They still got to pay that $10. So that $10, that means you made $23 that night.
Yeah, I mean, think about gas, though. I mean, like the cost to go to and from Beale Street. I mean, really, how much have you really made?
So if you're looking at your gas and you're putting $10 in there for gas, so you done made $13.
But they get fed at these venues. They got restaurants. Are they getting fed free?
No. You have to buy.
Really?
Your Cokes are free.
Okay.
Your Cokes are free, but your liquor you got to pay.
You serious?
For your liquor. Oh yeah, you got to pay for your liquor.
Wow, man.
And then on top, so if you get a Coke, if you get a liquor, $2 or $3, then you got $10 left. Wait a minute, I'm not through. So I'm not even telling you what you had to go get your clothes dry clean and clean. And maybe if you got children, you got to pay for a babysitter. Maybe. So
basically you're volunteering. You know what you're saying? You're just going out.
You're going and you're pushing for a hope, a dream, and a maybe, and a if. All in that order. And you're convincing yourself after a certain amount of time that this is good, this is right. But in the bottom of your belly, you know it's not. But you're saying to yourself, who am I going to get to help me? Nobody's helping me. Nobody gives a doggone about the musicians. Nobody cares about us. Nobody's trying to hire us on the real tip. And if so, will we go? Will we go?
So you tell me a city that's renowned for its rich musical heritage, for its live music. People go to Beale Street music festivals, all these different big festivals here in Memphis, and they pay these acts from out of town all this money, but these acts were inspired by Memphis musicians. And some of them have Memphis musicians in their band. So you mean that the Memphis musicians that inspire the world are not good enough to make a living on Beale Street, the street they made famous? They're
not making a living. Only the ones who are salaried, and those places are just maybe a few, and it's not even past 3. Believe you me, it's not past 3 places that have it. Take that back. It's 4, but it's 3.5. It's 3.5 because one doesn't really give you a salary. It gives you minimal of $30 a piece, and the other 3, they give you a salary. But the salary, when you say salary, let me explain to you about a salary. You're doing 3 sets or maybe 4 for the whole night of a salary. You've only made 100 and when I say three sets or 4 sets, it used to be 5. I remember that, and the time factor would be 45, 60, or maybe 120. No, 60 or 90 or 120. Mm-hmm. That's how it would go. Okay? Mm. So you add up all of that, and you still are not doing anything. You're tired, you broke down, and then you go to nursing homes or you go to your grave, and don't nobody care. They'll take up money for you now. You know, oh, we got to do something for Shaka Khan. But, you know, they usually take half that money because you in their place taking up their time if they donated. There's few clubs who would donate to let you do and come in there and do a benefit. But there are people who've been over that and have taken that money to do what they want to do and give you the little remnants of it. Mm. So I suggest if you've been in a club 25, 30 years, I think that they should take care of you. I think that they should be responsible for making sure that anything that happens to you, whether it's physical, you know, mentally you're put in the hospital in any kind of way, or you can't pay your light bill, I think there should be some perks in there for that. Right. If you spent that much time in their place building them up and making them wealthy, you know, that's my belief. But first and foremost, you got to give a doggone about yourself. Mm-hmm. You do. You have to have some respect for yourself, and you got to care enough to say, I'm not doing this, and I got to toughen it up so that I can make sure that I have stood my ground and do all I could do for me. Because it's a sad person who didn't do that. And I'm sure a lot of them who are gone on right now, if they had one more day, if they had one more hour, they would take care of some real business that they didn't take care of before.
Mm. Oh, wow. What is that? I mean, where is a place where Memphis musicians can actually go to make a living right now in 2018? I mean, where can they go to make a decent wage or whatever? Is there any options in the city or in the area?
Well, the options are very few. They're going to have to be created, and who can you trust is the other part of it as well. But you're going to have to create it. You're going to have to create some. It's just like, honestly, we're going back to slavery. We're in slavery time. Mm-hmm. We're on the plantation. We got to find a way. Remember back in the day when there were greens and beans and the hogs, insides of the hogs, the guts and all that, other folks didn't want it. So we did. But now that we have had the chitlins and the hog eyes and the feet and whatever else, now people are selling those back to us for triple the amount of money that it used to be.
That's
Think
right.
about it.
That's right.
You know, greens used to be considered as weeds. Okay? It's weeds. Now you go in the store, you get a bunch of greens at 99 cents or whatever. What did they used to be back in the day? Less than 5 or 10 cents. You know, or you can grow them in your own backyard. Tomatoes, all these things, not tomatoes, but all potatoes, things like that. That was not important. Of candy yams, rather. The yams were not important. We made the yams important. We have been the connoisseurs and the great ones of everything, every dish, every meal that was ever created. Black folks created it. Believe you me, because we had to make a way out of no way. So the musicians are going to have to find a way to make a way out of no way. They're going to have to band, stop being jealous of each other, stop being vindictive, you know, but gather together in order to have something. And until they do that, it's going to still be, y'all, we are all on the plantation. You know, well, let me say that. They on the plantation. I ain't going to be with them because I like myself, and I have refused, and that's probably why they don't book me and won't let me do a whole lot of things. Because had I been white, had I been just white, There ain't no way in the world I'd have to be going through anything right about now. All the things that I've accomplished with the greatest musicians in the world, from Willie Mitchell to Gene Bolex Miller to the Memphis Horns to everybody and anything that was through here, you know, from the jazz to the blues to the R&B to the whatever, gospel, opera. I wouldn't have to worry. But I'm not. So that means I had to go and create something for myself, and that's what I'm saying. We must create a stance, a place for us.
Mm-hmm.
And until we do that, it's going to be just like this little old Memphis. Don't go to Memphis town unless you go in there to make a fool out of them. Get the heck on out, because you're not going to make nothing staying up in there. They'll respect you for a while, from the basketball to the football to the whatever else coming through here. They're going to give you all the money that they can, and then they're going to get mad at you like they did Calipari. Hello, somebody.
Right.
Uh-huh. You feel me?
I hear
okay? You. That's what I'm trying to say. So I come here, I come here from all of the places that I've traveled, from Switzerland to Russia to, oh my God, to everywhere I've been, from Algeria to Spain, to wherever else. I got awards. I'm on buses in Italy. I'm on the hotel walls in different hotels in Spain and islands in England. I'm singing at the oldest church in the world in England, the oldest black church. You know, I'm doing, but I come here. Okay.
Right. Wow.
But we got to pull it together. And so I keep it going. And I have wept, because I think about, these are my people. And the old adage, the story of the birds. And I'll tell you quickly what I came up with when I was in the 8th grade. We had to do a synopsis on what people meant to you and who were people. And I'm going to assert this to my people and then the music world. And the story that I came up with was, there were vultures. Who are vultures? They're the birds who wait for you to break a leg, and then time you do, they said, "Oh, I want the other leg. I want the other toe. You got the other toe. I got the elbow." Okay. Then you got the sparrows, the birds who sit up on the limb and talk about, "Ooh, girl, I can't stand up." And then you say, "Well, did she just loan you $500? Did she just help your children? Did she just buy you some food?" Yeah, but I still can't stand her. Yeah, I still can't stand her. Then here you come down the street. Here you come walking. "Hey, Toni Green. Hey, Ronald Herb. How you doing? How you doing?" Backstabbing all the time. Think they're your friends after 20, 30 years, 15, 5, 2 or 3 years, but they're not. Then you got the hawks, the bird of prey, who flies just to kill for the sport of it. Well, why you gonna kill old Ronald? Man, 'cause he got on blue today. What? I thought you said you didn't like red. Well, that was yesterday, but today I don't like blue. So you just gonna kill him for the sport of it? Yes. 'Cause I just don't like him, 'cause he got on blue. What? But then you got the mighty eagle, the only bird who can fly into the eye of a storm, up into the stratosphere, all the way past the mountaintops, and look down through the clouds at the vultures, the sparrows, and the hawks, with tears in his eyes, and say, "Those are my people, but I just can't fly with them." Okay? Now, however you look at that and you take it, do that. But I want you to know, I fight all the time for all of my people. But my people don't want to get it together and fight for themselves. So I need some eagles on the team. I need, if you're an eagle, then that's the ones I'm going to hang with. The other people, I just can't. And in the music world, it is one of the most treacherous worlds in the world. But we don't have, if we're treacherous against each other, we ain't got time for everybody else to be treacherous. We need to make up our mind and start to respect ourselves so we can stop allowing these other entities and energies to come in and finish destroying us after we've been destroying ourselves. I hope I've made myself plain and clear today, because I just believe in my heart and soul there's still hope. But I will tell you, I can only fly with those eagles, okay?
Mm-hmm. All right, Sister Toni, really, like, well, actually, like, one thing I thought about, that was a great analogy what you did. What about the church? I mean, can musicians still make a living through the church?
They can, and they make, thank God, the churches are now giving them the musicians hand, but they tell the singers, well, you know, the Lord said that you got to come on in here and you sing for the Lord, and the Lord will bless you, sister, brother. He'll bless you. Come on in here and sing us. They don't want to get us to sing us nothing. It's, you know what I'm saying. They don't have it allotted for you, but the musicians, they'll pay the musicians because they need them every Sunday and every funeral and every choir rehearsal. So they'll get paid, and they make a good amount of money. But if you're just coming up as a vocalist, and I know probably somebody out there going like, oh, Lord, she done started talking about the church. But I got to tell the truth about it so you'll understand. When people be asking you to sing at funerals, they want you to sing free, brother. When they ask you to come and sing on choir day, they want you to sing free. When they ask you to come sing at Mother's Day, they want you to sing free. When they ask you to come and sing at Women's Day, they want you to sing free. At the Men's Day, free. They don't have nothing for you. Okay? So you didn't spit your gas to get all the way over there. You trusting in the Lord. Now, don't get me wrong, because it ain't nothing, nowhere, no time that I love better than I love the Lord. And I do believe in giving, and it shall be given unto you. But how many times you got to keep on giving, and these people don't see you? Hello, somebody. Yeah. Now, the minister making his money for every funeral he do. The not the pallbearer, but the funeral home making their money, and the church is gonna get theirs. But then you look at the singer, and you're allowed, like the old folks said, you're allowed to not even have a chair for her or him to sit down with after they done got through singing 2 or 3 songs at your loved one's funeral. Hello, somebody. Now I know what I'm talking about because it's happened to me several times. But how many times do you want me to do a favor for you, and you ain't opening up the doors for me to create something for me to come in and say, I respect your talent. Let me give you something. Because you deserve that. So the musicians, yes. The singers, no.
Okay, so the sister Toni Green, Queen Toni Green, Queen of the International Blues.
I hope I haven't bored you, though.
No. You gave a lot of food for thought. A lot of people are not aware of what's going on with the music industry as it relates to Memphis musicians and how Memphis musicians are treated, because, like, I think W.C. Handy once said, Memphis is a great place to be from. You're a musician, but you got to get out of there. You got to get out of Memphis and make a living.
Did he say that? Did he really say that?
I don't know. Mr. Abel, I got to find out. Mr. Amster Abel Jr., the late Mr. Amster Abel Jr., used to always, paraphrase that quote about getting out of Memphis.
If he didn't say it, he should have. Because it is a great place to be. Home values and stuff like that, yes. But there's no money to where you are respected. We have to change that, brother Hurd. And I don't know how we can. Outside, I said we have to unionize, and I think we have to create something. We have to create venues like they did back in the day with the Courage Tropicanas and the back in the day with the Paradise and stuff, and there was money flowing throughout the community, the black community, that we did support one another, and our efforts and whatever, prevailed and went on. The other clubs and things like that, they've already been torn down. There's nothing. There's no viable venues for us to even have anywhere to go, to even take a chance on getting paid in other places. So we have to create. We have to start to recreate us again. It has to be a reset.
Yeah, I was thinking about where's a place where young musicians and singers can go to really woodshed their craft. Like, where are the places where you can go for a late night jam session or whatever, or a place where you can exchange ideas like that? Is there any place around in Memphis?
Well, I was hoping to do something at the Gayhawk, and I'm waiting to hear more words from them about that, because I want to, you know, try to do that and trying to save that place as well. I'd like to have somewhere such as that place and other places around, you know. Who knows what next year would be. Hopefully I can create something with you, Brother Hurd, because I do want you there. And the reason, audience, I keep mentioning his name is because this young man here is so talented, so wise, and so full of information that you need to know about your city, who you are, and what this city was built on and where it is right now. And I was just enamored with listening to you. Each time I do hear you, I'm excited to hear more and more. I don't ever want you to stop talking whenever I'm around, because I'm just like a sponge. I want to soak it in. And I had dreams of thoughts of Jimmy Lunsford, because I didn't know any of this. You know, but I always knew that Memphis was outstanding wherever we went, from New York to Paris, France, to anywhere we went. We always made an impact, and the people would always emulate us and then go run on past us. Now, come to think of it, and I'll say this, had Jimmy had full backing of even Memphis, Tennessee, you know, there would not have been what's his name? What's that man? God, they used to wear the zoot suits.
Oh, you're talking about Cab Caldwell or Louis Jones. Yeah.
There would not be a Cab, baby. Cab wouldn't have been able to come even close, because Jimmy was awesome. There would, and the rest of the bands, but they were pushed and backed by their towns and their cities. Memphis, we have to start supporting our black people, our black entertainers. You know, I'm not just asking for me. You know, I'm asking for me. Let me take that back. Yes, I am. I'm asking for me and others who have gone, and we're setting the pace for you. I leave for France this weekend. Every time I leave out of Memphis, Tennessee, I'm representing Memphis. I'm representing every one of whoever they are. I might not be the greatest, and you might not even think I'm the greatest entertainer. That's cool with me. But somebody has asked me to come and do, because I sure didn't book myself. And the thing is, respect. Just get in here and support. You know, lift our people up, whoever they may be. And the other entertainers, stop being so jealous of one another. Stop being intimidated by one another. Get in here and be supportive. Whoever is the forerunner, like Jimmy was a forerunner back then, get behind them and push. Push that one so that they can be a link and pull you up. But if you keep trying to destroy them because you know you want to be this and this and that, then you're destroying the whole essence, the whole effort of everything. So until we even get that mindset, we need to push that reset button and get our minds back together and our hearts back together on things, so that we can elevate each other, push for each other, so that nobody, be it white, anybody, can take what's yours away from you.
So Queen,
it's divided. It's a division here. It's the division. And that's why they can do what they do.
Now, Queen Toni, what's the best way for the people to support you and learn more about you?
Well, right now, I have records out, Toni Green. You know, go on and, listen to me. Go on cdbaby.com, Amazon, Spotify. You know, I'm in and out of the country. I write, I produce. I'm just not a singer. I produce and write and publish. I own all of my works. Talk to me. If you've got someone you want, needs to talk to me about helping them as far as voice lessons, stage presentation, I do that too. Of course I do charge. So do hear me. I do charge because I have to make a living. Right. But I'm not extreme to the point that I don't. But I'm going to give you something some of the other facilities don't give. I'm going to give you the heart and soul of it because, see, I'm living it. They planning it. They perpetrating. I'm going to give you everything that I know how to give to make you be who you're going to be. Because when you come out the gate with me, you're coming out to be a winner. So that I can leave a number or email or whatever you need me to do. Oh, yeah. So you can contact me and let me know. Support me and everything that you hear from the radio to the website. Get in and dig in with me and let me know you heard us on this show, on this program, and that you believe in what I'm saying and that we can dig in, we can be supportive of everybody. Okay? Can I get my webpage?
Yeah, do all that.
Let me give you the Toni Green email. You can email me, Miss MS Toni TONI Green GREEN 3 at Yahoo or Gmail or iCloud. You can also go and look me up on the Spotify, Amazon, cdbaby.com. Purchase my information, my records. I'm still writing and producing. Go to YouTube, just plug in, visit me, say I was here, share my information so that we can go on and grow on. One thing about it, Memphis, Tennessee, I'm going to support you, but I sure do need your support. And I need you all to know that I'm so in love with Memphis, I still bring the crazy stuff back here. To get some of this good old home cooked food,
right.
and it's just me. It's just who I just love me some Memphis. But it's a shame I have to go away to do great, other things, on bigger stages. You can also call me at 901-650-7868. Don't call me if you plan, because I'm a businesswoman and I only take business calls. And I will support you as much as I can. Do that for me, and I'd appreciate that. And I appreciate this program. I pray that it'll go on, whatever you can do to also uplift, this program. I want you to do that, because this should be one of the biggest shows in Memphis. It should be one of the biggest shows, and it should be flourishing all across the entire country, so that, people can chime in and be able to speak to this intelligent, wonderful man and his mama. Let me tell you, that's a bad woman there. She ain't no joke either. Miss Callie Hurd, I love me some her too. So I just want you all to know, support them and let them know you love them too.
Thank you, Queen Toni. In the words of Great Development, we love you madly. You keep on producing and pushing, and wishing you safe travels and much success in all your future endeavors.
Thank you. See you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on down and visit us, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.